From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Dave DeForest reporting a long-range U.S. military bomber flies over South Korea. The flyover appears to be in response to North Korea's latest nuclear weapons test. Commander Terrence O'Shaughnessy spoke to reporters.
52 missions reinforce the U.S. commitment to the security of our allies and partners and demonstrate one of the many alliance capabilities available for the defense of the Republic of Korea.
The B-52 bomber was seen flying over Osan Air Base before heading back to Guam. U.S. actor Penn met with Mexican drug trafficker Joaquin El Chapo Guzman in Mexico months before Guzman's capture. The meeting was for an interview published on the website of Rolling Stone magazine. Guzman told Penn he supplies more heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine, and marijuana than anyone else in the world. Penn described Guzman as entirely unapologetic. At least 4 people were killed Sunday in northern Yemen when a missile hit a medical clinic operated by the aid group Doctors Without Borders. The group says the missile struck the Shiara Hospital in Saada province. The group's Teresa San Cristobal says this isn't the first time the hospital's been hit.
For this hospital, this concrete hospital, is the third time that is attacked. For MSF, is the third time that we are attacked in general as a medical facility. I would like to reiterate that we are not the only hospitals that they have been hit.
The charity says 10 people were wounded in the shelling, including 3 staff members. Egypt held an opening session of Parliament Sunday, the chamber's first session in more than 3 years. The Assembly has 15 days to ratify hundreds of executive decrees issued by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, or those laws will be repealed. This is VOA News. Senior Arab officials are condemning what they say is Iran's meddling in Arab affairs. Arab League Chief Nabil al-Arabi called for diplomats to adopt a strong position, calling on Iran to stop all forms of interference in the affairs of Arab nations. He spoke at an emergency meeting of the Arab League called by Saudi Arabia to discuss the recent attacks on its embassy in Tehran. Pakistan is to host a key meeting of top Afghan, U.S., and Chinese officials on Monday. Participants are tasked to set the stage and determine dates for resuming peace talks between the Kabul government and the Taliban. Ayaz Gul reports.
Afghan and Pakistani officials say 4-nation talks in Islamabad are to determine a roadmap and define limits for reviving a peace process. There is widespread skepticism about whether the Taliban is ready to give up violence and re-engage in a result-oriented peace dialogue with the Afghan government. Speaking Saturday in Kabul, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani sounded optimistic about the 4-nation effort. He said the internationally monitored discussions beginning Monday will enable all sides to differentiate between insurgents who want reconciliation and those who oppose it. Ayaz Gul, Islamabad.
Republican Party presidential candidates Donald Trump and Ted Cruz are in a virtual dead heat in Iowa. Democrats Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are also locked in a close race there. Those figures come from the latest NBC News Wall Street Journal Marist poll. A newly arrived Syrian refugee and a Muslim former U.S. soldier will be among the White House invitees, sitting with First Lady Michelle Obama Tuesday at President Barack Obama's final State of the Union address. The choice of guests for the First Lady often reflects the president's priorities. Immigrants in the German city of Cologne are the targets of new protests after some of them were accused of committing sexual assaults and robberies. New Year's Eve celebrations in the city. The attacks blamed on men of North African and Arab origin have fueled calls for tighter controls on Germany's immigration policies. Thousands of people gathered in Paris Sunday to mark the anniversary of the attack on the Charlie Hebdo magazine and a Jewish supermarket. That attack last January killed 17 people. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani Sunday traveled to eastern Nangarhar province, where he met with officials and tribal leaders to assess concerns that the Islamic State group is gaining ground in the province. He addressed a meeting in the capital Jalalabad, stressing that the government is determined to prevent IS from establishing bases in Afghanistan. I'm Dave DeForest.
That's the latest world news from VOA.